When you look at a map, the Philippines seems small, just a cluster of islands scattered like pearls across the Pacific. But this humble chain of more than 7,000 islands hides a truth that the world's greatest powers have always known. A truth that shapes wars, trade, and the balance of power in Asia. Right between the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean lies a geopolitical gold mine. Whoever controls this stretch of sea controls one of the most important crossroads on Earth. Every year, trillions of dollars worth of goods pass through the surrounding waters. Oil, electronics, food, fuel. From the factories of East Asia to the ports of the West, everything moves through these shipping lanes, and they all run dangerously close to the Philippines. It's not just geography, it's positioning. The Philippines sits like a gatekeeper at the mouth of Asia, close to Taiwan, overlooking the South China Sea, and within striking distance of key trade choke points. For centuries, empires and nations have tried to secure this spot. Spain built its galleons here. America fortified its bases here. Japan launched invasions through here. And now, modern superpowers watch the Philippines closer than ever. Because whoever influences these islands shapes the future of the Indo-Pacific. Yet most of the world has no idea. They see beaches, tropical beauty, and smiles. They don't see the chessboard beneath the waves. The Philippines is more than a tourist paradise. It's a strategic anchor, holding up the balance of global power. Superpowers have always understood the value of the Philippines, and they've feared losing it more than they'd ever admit. For the United States, the Philippines has long been a forward watchtower in Asia. For decades, massive American bases stood on these islands, acting as a shield between the Pacific and rising threats from the east. It was here that fleets were launched, air patrols were coordinated, and strategies were forged during some of the most critical moments in modern history. But it's not just the past. Even today, U.S. military strategy in the Indo-Pacific is built around one core assumption: the Philippines must not fall into rival hands. On the other side, China looks at the same waters with ambition. It sees trade lanes, energy routes, and military reach. In its eyes, the Philippines isn't just a neighbor, it's a strategic obstacle. One that stands between Beijing and its dream of dominating the South China Sea. And so beneath the surface, a quiet tug of war has begun. Military agreements are signed, ports are expanded, bases are revived, surveillance aircraft cross the skies. The Philippines, without even trying, has become the center of a modern geopolitical rivalry. What makes this moment even more intense is the shift in the Philippines' role. Once a passive ally, the country is now starting to make choices that ripple across oceans. Superpowers know that influence here is not won by force alone, but by strategic presence. Whoever stands closest to the Philippines stands closest to the future of Asian power. Every empire has a pressure point. For modern civilization, that pressure point is the sea, and the Philippines sits right on top of it. Look closer at the map. Surrounding the archipelago are some of the busiest maritime arteries in the world. Every year, thousands of cargo ships weave through these narrow lanes, carrying everything from oil and gas to electronics and food. More than 60% of global trade passes through the waters near the Philippines. These are not just shipping routes. They're the lifelines of the modern economy. From the energy fields of the Middle East to the tech factories of Japan and South Korea, and finally to the bustling ports of the United States and Europe, all of it flows through these strategic corridors. And if those waters were ever blocked or controlled, the shockwaves would be felt from Wall Street to Shanghai. This is why the Philippines isn't just a country, it's a maritime gatekeeper. Its location gives it a quiet kind of power, the kind that doesn't rely on armies or weapons, but on strategic geography. And then, there's the people. Filipino seafarers make up nearly a third of the global shipping workforce. On every ocean, on almost every vessel, there's a Filipino crew member at the helm, navigating, maintaining, moving the world forward. Their skill and resilience are so trusted that without them, many fleets would simply stop sailing. Global shipping companies know this. Superpowers know this. But most of the world doesn't. The Philippines holds two keys at once: the waters and the workforce. That combination makes it a silent force behind the global economy, a force hidden in plain sight. While the world argues over who controls the seas, the Philippines quietly keeps them running. Power isn't always loud. Sometimes it doesn't march in with tanks or roar through the skies. Sometimes it stands quietly right where the world least expects it. For decades, the Philippines has been underestimated, seen as a bridge, a base, a backdrop for bigger nations' ambitions. But that perception is beginning to change. Today, the Philippines is learning to leverage its position. It's no longer just a passive player caught between superpowers. It's becoming a strategic voice, one that others must listen to. All around its waters, alliances are being reshaped. New security pacts are signed, old military bases are being revived, and critical infrastructure is being modernized. Trade hubs are expanding, naval patrols are increasing, and new diplomatic strategies are quietly being set in motion. The world is watching, not because the Philippines is threatening anyone, but because it doesn't have to. Its location, its people, and its maritime reach already give it natural leverage. And here lies the silent strategy. The Philippines doesn't need to dominate, it only needs to stand firm. By simply controlling what it already has, its waters, its workforce, its alliances, it can shift the balance of power in Asia without firing a single shot. As tensions rise and new global rivalries unfold, nations will have to choose, compete over the Philippines, or cooperate with it. For centuries, others have written the story of these islands, but now the Philippines is beginning to write its own chapter, not as a pawn, but as a strategic power in its own right. The world may not fully see it yet, but soon everyone will understand. The future of Asia passes through the Philippines,